Moving from Glenn Beck to Joe the Plumber, who is not actually named Joe and is not actually a plumber, a licensed plumber, doesn't really matter. We still call him Joe the Plumber. Joe the Plumber is a guy who built his entire public persona around lies, claiming to be a licensed plumber when he's not, claiming to be a guy about to buy a business making $250,000 a year when he wasn't, without anyone asking, as far as I know, Joe the Plumber for his opinion about the UCSB drive-by shootings. He decided to weigh in by writing a letter to the families of the victims. That's right, Samuel Wurzelbacher, the unlicensed plumber, wrote a letter published on the so-called Christian website Barbed Wire, where he said, "The deaths of the innocent victims of the UCSB shooting do not trump his constitutional rights to own a gun." He said that the incident from over the weekend is going to be exploited by gun grab extremists, as are all tragedies involving gun violence and the mentally ill, by the anti-Second Amendment left. And he goes on to say, and this is the key line, "I'm sorry for the loss of your child. I myself have a son and daughter, and the one thing I never want to go through is what you're going through now. But as harsh as this sounds, your dead kids don't trump my constitutional rights." Reaction, Lewis?
Well, why was he prompted to what prompted the writing of this letter? Was it the response of some of the parents? Was it the guy who was criticizing the NRA?
It was, and nobody asked Sam Wurzelbacher, Joe the Plumber, to comment on this, but he felt like he just could not resist making some kind of a comment because of the father of the victim, who did in part blame the NRA and politicians who refused to take action around gun violence. And even the NRA, one of the most despicable organizations who just wants to promote the sale of more guns, period. Doesn't matter what else comes with that. Even the NRA has, the good sense, if not the good taste, to keep their mouths shut for at least a few days after a mass shooting. And a cynical person might think that Joe the unlicensed plumber was capitalizing upon this as an opportunity to maybe, I don't know, get his name back in the limelight.
That is exactly what I was thinking. I think he loves being in the spotlight, and this was just a great opportunity.
Baxter, a commenter on Huffington Post, wrote the following, which I think is incredibly salient. He said, "In America, on American soil, innocent people living their day-to-day lives should just be expected to, quote, deal with the fact that at any given moment, someone may open fire around them or in a place where their loved ones are in a domestic terror attack. Nothing should be done. No one should be held accountable. People's right to own guns trumps the lives of innocent children. Meanwhile, in the country of Libya, in the city of Benghazi, Christopher Stevens, Sean Smith, Tyrone Woods, and Glenn Doherty, all of whom understood the risks of their jobs and the embassies they were stationed at, were killed in an overseas terrorist attack, and the American people have been forced to pay millions for 13 public hearings that haven't turned up anything new in 11 months. And other than saying that the Benghazi attacks, incorrectly saying were at an embassy when they were at a consulate, this is an incredibly salient comment about the double standard with which we can't really explore the gun violence aspect, but we need hearing after hearing in Benghazi where people who knew the dangers tragically died.
Right. The idea is, oh, well, it happens. And the people who love their guns think because they're carrying a gun and because they own guns, when this happens near them, they won't get shot, they won't die, their loved ones will be fine. That's just not the case.
This program is supported directly by you. Please go to davidpakman.com/membership to become a supporter today and get a whole bunch of great member benefits while doing it.